like the title of your show, and talked about this a little bit more before, but Just Men. When I first saw it, I thought it meant just men are supposed to watch this show, not women, or that's what I thought it was. But as I've heard it more, and as you've discussed it, that it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle.
My father was a person that did not allow the word discrimination or segregation or can't to be discussed in my home. My father was a person who believed that if you prepare yourself, if you work hard, if you treat people the way that you would want to be treated, and if you live the right kind of way, that your life will move forward in a very positive way.
Some of the many adversities that I had to fight through just to get to Ohio State. But within all of that, I've learned work ethic, is key. Having the faith in what you believe in and what you dream about is key. And those two work hand in hand. I had no time to focus on the negative. I had no time to say, well, if I don't make it. I said, no, I'm not going to think on those terms if I don't make it. My plan A and B is to get
One of the issues that I had to deal with after I got married that I'm sure you've spoken about was pornography. Pornography is such that it's a private sin. It'll take everything that you have invested, and it will blow everything that you've invested. It's private so that you won't know that it's really destroying you until years later. As my team member, my wife didn't really, now she's not going to really understand what pornography is to me as a man, but I needed to make myself accountable to my wife and say, look, when I go into hotel rooms, I'm tempted. After concerts, you have to wind down. You can't just roll in and go to sleep after a concert. You have to wind down. And that is something that's been planted in me from an early age, that's grown up with me, and now has exploded since I've joined Take 6, a gospel group. But letting my wife know that caused me to start being accountable to her, so that even if she didn't understand what I had to go through, she could still cover me in prayer. She could still cover me in accountability.
There's a lot, but what comes to mind and what comes to my heart are those 3 or 4 in terms of relationship with God, with people, in terms of what it is to be a man. I think it most of everything centered on what it is to be a man, because when you are a man, everything else falls in line. You don't have to deal with all those other topics of how I should treat a woman, or how should I treat my fellow brother, or how I should walk in the admonition of God. When you are a man, then all those things fall in place, because the definition of true manhood is your union with God. A man is not a man until he's in union with God. And so ultimately, that should be our message, get in union with God.
I started slowly stepping back from that because I was being shown a next level of responsibility, and I was showing how my actions were actually impacting other people. And so as I began to grow in this wisdom, as I began to grow in my experience and my maturity, I realized, like, hey man, you can never look back to certain things anymore. You have grown, you leave childish things to children, It's time to step up and be a man. And again, I started realizing what examples I actually have. My own father, in his absence, was a shining example for me. You see, I came to the realization that there are 2 types of examples in this world. The examples of things to do and examples of things not to do. And he showed me exactly what I should not do when I'm blessed with the Son.
There's no shortcuts in life. As God has planted us here to have dominion, our first dominion comes over ourselves. You change the thing that you can change.
I have, as all of us have, character defects that, including arrogance at times. But I think being open to perceiving my proper place in the whole scheme of things really helps me. having people in my life, friends that will tell me when I'm off track. And again, being willing to forgive myself for making mistakes is another thing. I think one thing that fuels arrogance, whether you're a doctor, lawyer, judge, whatever, is an idea that you have to be perfect. I mean, everybody, I think, suffers.
I'm going to give you the last word in terms of a word of inspiration, a word of encouragement. What word would that be?
The word that I would give to people is follow your dreams.